Good morning, everyone. As you can see, I've been on a lemon kick lately because I got a lot of lemons. But I might be coming to a finale very soon. But before I do, I can't not make my younger sister Susie's lemon loaf. She brought this in our family many years ago, several years ago, and my mother had it printed up in her little recipe book, which she passed on to me because she revised it. So it's a really good, easy, quick, very nice spring and summer dessert. And all it takes is one lemon. You're going to use the lemon zest and the lemon juice of a lemon. And it's just a really refreshing dessert. So let's get started. You want to start by greasing a 9-inch by 5-inch loaf pan. And then what we're going to do is we're going to zest a lemon. And really, you can use as much zest for this as you want. But the recipe basically calls for 1 tablespoon of grated or zest lemon peel. So that's what you're going to do first. Then we're going to use a whole lemon, or about 4.5 teaspoons of lemon juice, or right about that, because what we're going to do with the juice is we're going to make a topping with it after the loaf is baked. So after we zest this lemon, we're going to get our flour mixture, and this is 2 1/4 cup of flour, 2 1/4 cups of flour, and there's 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and 3/4 of a cup of salt. So we're going to mix all that in. And then we're going to mix in our 1.5 cups of sugar. So this is where we start, right in our dry ingredients. So we're going to whisk the flour, salt, baking powder, and sugar, everything together. You want to whisk all this before you do anything else. All the dry ingredients you're whisking together so they all get mixed together, kind of incorporated together, and everything gets in the pre-batter, so to speak. So then what we're going to do is stir in our lemon peel, and I probably do have exactly the amount I need. I zested probably about 3/4 of a cup of the lemon zest, and now you're going to put in 3/4 of a cup of butter. In those days, my mom used margarine for this, and the recipe actually called for margarine, but of course I use the butter. So what we're going to do is put in 3/4 of a cup and kind of mix this all together. And you can use a fork or a whisk. I'm not going to use an electric mixer for this because we don't want this to be really overmixed. So you can use a fork, is probably better, because you want small, coarse crumbs with this. That's the consistency you're going to want with this batter, coarse crumbs. So we're going to keep mixing this right now till we get everything incorporated. Okay, this is your batter. It's coarse crumbs. This is how you want it to be, just like this. And then after that, you're going to, in a separate bowl, you're going to put your 3 eggs, and you're going to kind of whisk it with a fork, just like this. And then you're going to add in 3/4 of a cup of milk, and kind of lightly whisk this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to stir this egg milk mixture in with our flour. And then we're going to combine all of it. And you don't want to over mix this. You're just going to mix everything till it's moistened together, and then we're going to fill our pan with it. So I'm going to keep mixing. So this is your batter. It basically states not to overwork it. So what we're going to do now is just pour it in our loaf pan. And we're going to bake this at 350 degrees Fahrenheit on the middle rack for, it says 1 hour and 15 minutes, and like I said before many times, It all depends on your oven. So I'm going to start with an hour, and I'm going to see how that goes. So I'll be back. This cooked 1 hour, and if we poke it in, it comes out clean. Poke it in, it comes out clean. So my cake took 1 hour, and yours could take longer or maybe a little less or in between. So make sure you check it with the toothpick. If you ever notice that it may not be as cooked as you want it on top, but you don't want the edges to get darker, you can turn off the oven and you can leave it in the oven for about 10 more minutes. It will cook internally more, but it won't affect the edges. So this is just perfect how we have it. So what you want to do is leave it in this for about 10 minutes and kind of go around the edges with a butter knife and loosen it up. But if you've greased it properly, you won't have a problem removing this. So just like that, it should come out real easily. When you grease your pan the way you should, there's never a problem. Our last step is you want to pour your lemon juice in a pot. And I got about 4.5 tablespoons of lemon juice. I actually got more, but I'm only using about that. And I'm putting 2 tablespoons of sugar. And I'm going to whisk this, bring it to a boil, and cook this lemon sauce on the stove for about 5 minutes until it thickens. So you're just going to stir this till it's slightly thickened, and it is. You don't need anything more than slightly thickened, so we're done. So what you can do is take a toothpick and just poke a few holes. You don't want to massacre this and just poke a bunch of holes, big holes. That's not the idea. Just a few little pricks with the toothpick, and that should be enough. And now we're going to pour the lemon sauce over. For the taste test. Very buttery and lemony, kind of an equal balance. Moist, really delicious, and it's really good with a cup of coffee. I think if you give this a try, you'll really enjoy it. And it's one of those desserts you can take, just wrap it in foil, take it to a gathering, and it's real easy to serve, and it's really delicious. So I hope if you enjoyed this video, you would consider subscribing and make a comment. Thank you so much for watching.